Hello everyone, Friday the 19th of March, the Solemnity of Saint Joseph, and it's the 27th day of Lent. The Gospel today is from it could be from St. Matthew or St. Luke. I'll take St. Matthew. When Joseph discovers that Mary is with child and he decides to divorce her, her quietly or informally, and an angel appears to him in a dream and says, Joseph, and these are the key words, Joseph, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife. So I want to comment on these verses. There's a lot of ideas out there in the religious Christian world, Catholic world, that Joseph thought Mary was a bad girl. This is absolutely ridiculous. I just don't believe it with all my being. There's no way he thought that she had done something wrong. Certainly he didn't know how this had occurred. That's kind of another theory. These are two theories. And the third theory is the one that makes total sense to me that I've read, and that is the reverence theory. And that is Joseph knew that Mary had been touched by God. Didn't know how this had happened, but she was with child. Because Joseph, remember, is of the royal house of David. Joseph knows the scriptures. Joseph knows even Isaiah, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son. Joseph is not ignorant or oblivious of this. But even if we know it, how can this happen? Right? So he's a just man, as the scripture describes him, and so he can't acknowledge this as his son. So he decides to divorce Mary informally and not to publicly humiliate her, which could cause her to be stoned to death. And when he makes the decision, obviously he prayed about this. The angel says, don't be afraid. He doesn't say, don't be ashamed. You say, that's the key word here. Don't be afraid. This is the same fear that Peter had when remember the miraculous catch of fish, he gets out of the boat and he gets on his knees and he says, Lord, depart from me, for I am a sinful man. Go back further when Moses came to the burning bush and God said, take off your shoes, you're on holy ground, and he prostrates himself. Isaiah, when he sees a small glimpse of heaven and he says, I am a man of unclean lips, I'm not worthy to be here. That's the kind of fear here. Don't be afraid. Because he knows he's in the presence of the Holy One. So the Holy One has done something to this woman who he loves with all of his heart. So he does take her as his wife, and he becomes the father, the legal father of Jesus. And there's so much here for us to reflect on about how good and holy and just and obedient and loving a man Saint Joseph was. Today is, here in Corpus Christi, we're having the consecration to Saint Joseph, and it's, something that we should all really be trying to do, to be imitating this man. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It's just like priests and males and females can imitate Our Lady, her love for God. All people, men and women, boys and girls, can imitate Saint Joseph and his love for God. Because, this is we're into parents, right? Mary's the mother, and Joseph is the legal father of Jesus. And God entrusted Joseph with his own son in human nature. Just think about that. And Joseph would have taught Jesus to read the scriptures, to become a carpenter, to be a good man, to respect people. I mean, as Jesus watched Joseph and Mary interact with each other, there's so much here. But, pray for a big, magnanimous love for Saint Joseph. And ask God to help you imitate this good and holy and just man who loved God with all of his heart, was always obedient to the Lord, even though it required of him great sacrifice. You give yourself to Saint Joseph, ask Saint Joseph to help you. Saint Teresa of Avila taught, ask Saint Joseph for something, and Saint Joseph will not disappoint you. So today, think of Saint Joseph in your prayer. Ask the Lord to help you imitate this man that he loved and he obeyed so much. God bless you.